Let us pray. Almighty God, who in your wisdom and goodness have appointed the offices of leaders and the county assemblies for the welfare of society and the just government of the people, we beseech you to behold with your abundant favor as your servants whom you have been pleased to call to the performance of important trust in this republic. Let your blessings descend upon us here assembled, and grant that we treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner as to promote your honor and glory, and to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of our country and of those whose interests we have committed to our church. Amen. I'll refer to our standing order, and therefore I'll request Sergeant Atam to ring quorum bell for the first 5 minutes. Honorable members, I'm able to support Deputy Majority Whip. Honorable Jennifer Bonyo, kindly confirm if we have quorum, and after that you approach the chair.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. There is quorum.
Clerk, kindly take us to the order of the day.
Third Assembly, fourth session, order paper number 334 of today, Thursday, 21st August 2025 at 2:30 p.m. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Yes, Honorable Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I wish to lay a paper. First one to the provisions of orders number 182/6 of the standing orders. I wish to table today, Thursday, 21st August 2025, the progress report of the Joint Committee on Labor and Social Welfare and that of Administration of Law, Justice, Good Governance and Security on the inquiry into the allegations of revenue investment by employees of the Kisumu County Revenue Board.
Honorable members, I confirm a receipt of a report of the Joint Committee on Labor, Social Welfare and Administration of Law, Justice, Good Governance and Security. I therefore committed to committee House business for scheduling for debate. Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Yes, Honorable Moses Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I have a report of the Joint Committee on Labor, Social Welfare and Administration of Law, Justice, Good Governance and Security. That pursuant to the provisions of orders number 45(1) of the standing orders, this House adopts the progress report of the Joint Committee on Labor and Social Welfare and that of Administration of Law, Justice, Good Governance and Security on the inquiry into allegations of revenue investment by employees of the Kisumu County Revenue Board. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Next order, Mr. Clerk.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, it is statement hour. Yes, Honorable Dari.
No, Madam Speaker, I don't have anything.
Okay.
I'm just happy to see my sister today
Okay.
in Arsenal uniform.
Okay, I saw you on your feet.
I don't know. If that is the dressing code of this assembly, and the sports shoes.
Next order, Mr. Clerk. Yes, Honorable Moses Ochele.
Honorable Madam Speaker, allow me to ride on the observations made by Honorable Adonijo Dari, who hails from Moroni, as well as our sister, Honorable Regina Kizito. Madam Speaker, Honorable Adonijo Dari has noticed, and I've also realized that our sister is in sports gear. I don't know whether we changed our dressing code to sports gear. She's in Arsenal t-shirt, tight broken trouser, and sports shoes. Is that the recent dressing code?
Sergeant at Arms, kindly confirm if Honorable Regina Kizito is properly dressed.
Madam Speaker, the mood in the country is that one.
Honorable Oiko, I have not given you permission.
The mood in the country is that of
Honorable Oiko,
Harambee Star has
you don't have my permission.
Point of order. Point of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, point of order. I'm senior.
Yes, Honorable Nyauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to stand on, as per the regulations and the precedents of this House, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, you are also aware that our faithful team is due to play tomorrow. And we are just gearing towards the support we are ready to give. And as Assembly, we have to start demonstrating the mood from this House, Madam Speaker. So I find Madam Regina properly dressed for the course of tomorrow. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Of order, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker,
Kindly, Honorable,
1 minute.
Honorable Adega, resume your seat.
Kindly, Madam Speaker. Kindly.
Resume your seat, Honorable Adega. Honorable members, we have a dressing code and we have to adhere to that. Allow Sergeant at Arms to do their work. Proceed, Mr. Clerk.
Commencement of business. Order number 8, motion on the adoption of the report of Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning and Urban Development Committee on the proposed sublease of land Kisumu stroke municipal stroke block stroke 11 stroke 43 to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission by the Honorable Ratib Boyton.
Honorable Ratib Boyton of Nyalenda A.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I arise to move a motion on the report on the proposed allocation of parcel Kisumu stroke municipality stroke block 11 stroke 43 to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, that is EACC. Madam Speaker, allow me to use the moving note as our custom. But Madam Speaker, before I go direct to the moving notes, Madam Speaker, allow me to mention a few, but some essential items that need to be in record. Madam Speaker, the report was posted on our WhatsApp wall yesterday, which also had given ample time to members to go through it. Page 7 of this report gives us the establishment and mandate of the committee. Then page 8 of this report also is giving us composition of this committee, where we have 9 members. Out of these 9 members, Madam Speaker, 4 are very active, 1 is not very active, and 4 is dormant. Madam Speaker, this report has an introduction part on page 12, which I believe members have seen. And Madam Speaker, as you peruse over this report, there are also annexes of the communication that came from the cabinet, the EACC, and any other relevant bodies that were concerned in this report making. All are annexed in this report. We have Annex 1 up to the last annex, that is Annex 13. Now, Madam Speaker, pursuant to provision of Article 185(4) of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, read together with Section 8 of the County Government Acts 2012 and Standing Order number 193 of Kisumu County Assembly Standing Orders, the County Secretary, by the letter reference CGKSEADM 20 volume 5 Roman number 203, which was dated 12th August 2024, was submitted to the County Assembly. The decision, the County Executive Committee, in approving the request by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for allocation of a parcel of land, that is Kisumu Municipality, Block 11/45, for the purpose of establishing a regional office. Madam Speaker, the matter was accordingly tabled before this Honorable House and committed to the Sectorial Committee on Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development for consideration and reporting in line with Article 185(4) of the Constitution, Section 5 of the County Government Act 2012, and Standing Order number 193. Pursuant to this mandate, the committee held a series of sittings and undertook extensive consultation with stakeholders, including the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development, and the Regional Director of Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The committee also reviewed cabinet memos, valuation reports, legal advisories, and correspondences, as well as the applicable constitutional and statutory framework governing the allocation of public land. Madam Speaker, having considered the matter, the committee made the following observations. Number 1, that in accordance with Article 62, bracket 2 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010, the land in question is public land held in trust by the county government of Kisumu on behalf of the residents of Kisumu County, subject to administration by the National Land Commission. Number 2, that pursuant to the Land Act number 6 of 2012 and the Land Allocation of Public Lands in bracket Regulation 2017, the request by Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission followed the due process of initiation, cabinet consideration, and referral to the county assembly for approval. Third, that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission Act 2011 mandates the commission to establish a regional office which enhances its accessibility, efficiency, and capacity to combat corruption. The request is therefore consistent with this statutory mandate. Number 4, the observation number 4 is that the professional valuation report placed the market value of the subject parcel at Kenya shillings 80 million, demonstrating the asset significance and the need for transparency and accountability in allocation process. And number 5, Madam Speaker, that while the county executive approved the allocation, certain procedural safeguards such as public participation, change of user from residential to institutional use under the Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019 and a full legal research to verify title and encumbrances had not been concluded prior to submission to the Assembly. And lastly, that the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has historically partnered with Kisumu County in protecting public assets, including recovery of Taifa Park parcels, reserved Taifa Park and parcels that were reserved for Kiwasco, thereby demonstrating the public interest in facilitating its regional presence. Madam Speaker and honorable members, having regard to this observation, the committee now made the following recommendations, which are 6 in number. Let me take you through one after the other. One, that this honorable house today approves the proposed allocation of parcel Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43 to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission for establishing a regional office. 2, that the county executive must conduct public participation in compliance with Article 10 of the Constitution and Section 87 of the County Government Act of 2012 before execution of this matter. 3, that a formal change of user from residential to institutional use be secured under the Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019. And number 4, that a comprehensive legal search be conducted to confirm absence of encumbrances, charges, or third-party interest on the same title. And 5, that a binding sublease agreement be formulated clearly outlining the terms, obligations, durations, and revisionary clauses, and that the same be submitted to the committee for review before execution. And lastly, that the county executive reports back to this house on fulfillment of the above conditions prior to finalization of the transaction. Madam Speaker and honorable members, now the committee therefore recommends that this honorable house adopts the report on the proposed allocation of land to Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. Madam Speaker, before I call a seconder, may I therefore now take this opportunity to thank all members of the committee, especially the 4 active members.
Point of order, Madam Speaker.
They allow Honorable Rati Baiton to present his report.
Sometimes it baffles us, it beats the sense to see how some so-called, in quotes, senior members behave. May I now take this opportunity to thank all members of the committee for their valuable contribution during the inquiry and deliberation. The committee also wishes to thank the office of the Speaker and of the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical and logistical support extended throughout this process. Madam Speaker, at this juncture, may I now call upon Honorable Reverend Tom Nyaoke to second the report. Thank you. Who also the Vice Chair of the committee. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Reverend Bishop Cardinal Nyauke.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to first thank my able chair for the good presentation of this long-awaited report that he has just read before this House. Madam Speaker, we have come a long way with this issue, and I'm happy now we are getting somewhere close to the end of this particular subject, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, before us this afternoon is the report from the Lands Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development regarding the sublease of EACC, as has been read by our able chair. Madam Speaker, and in that particular report, I want to also commend other committee members where I'm also part of, because we were involved in several discussions on the same. Madam Speaker, with a view that we are able to bring a report into this House that is properly executed, investigated, and possibly all possible questions to be asked were deliberately answered. Madam Speaker, in view of this particular sensitive nature of the whole thing, Madam Speaker, we did take quite a lot of time to go through and to involve possible stakeholders, the relevant department, the EACC, that is the body requesting for the sublease of this particular land, so that we make sure that we have no issue at all with that particular land in question. Madam Speaker, it is also important to note that the committee on behalf of this House met and discussed with the EACC officials. We did invite them. They came here. We interrogated them seriously, and we took a lot of time to understand their point of request. We also invited the lands department officials. They also came here, made physical presentation. We did cross-examinations of what we thought members would be interested in knowing. And of course, Madam Speaker, all the stakeholders that we felt were important to consult. Now, and with the so many deliberations that we did, Madam Speaker, during all this process, it was satisfactory that the land in question was free from any encumbrances and that it was free for sublease as was being requested by EACC body. Madam Speaker, I don't want to say much. I want to say that I second this report, and it is a report that going forth, I think is going to lead us to the greater heights of what we plan to do. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I beg to second.
Honorable members, now that a motion on adoption of the report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning, and Urban Development Committee on the proposed sublease of land, Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43 to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has been presented and seconded. I want to propose a question, and I propose that the motion on adoption of the report is open for debate. Yes, Honorable Mrs. Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to take cue from where my chair, who is the mover of the motion, and this deputy, Honorable Reverend Engineer Denise Nyauke, has left it. Madam Speaker, it is worth noting that this report has taken quite a while, and going by the nature of the workload, I think the time taken by the committee in coming up with the report is worth mentioning. Madam Speaker, sometimes I think that the time frame given to the committees will take into consideration the number of correspondences, the number of engagements, and the number of interactions the committee needs to come up with a report. I think the duration of such a report should be considered based on certain fundamental facts. Like in this report, Madam Speaker, a number of correspondences were done in to various offices. Some were honored early, some were honored late. However, at the end of it, most of the deliberations were fruitful. Madam Speaker, personally, I didn't append my signature on the report, despite the fact that I'm a member of the same committee. And I would like to assist my brother, Honorable Dede, that when the chair mentions 4 active committee members, obviously the chair is very active in this committee. Honorable Ko is normally very active. And the newly acquired committee of expert member, Honorable James Oyugiwere, is equally active. The passive, semi-passive deputy, who is committed in other matters like the religious aspects. He comes and disappears, but generally he prays for us. And the other one is yours truly, myself. Therefore, I believe the concern of Honorable Dede is taken care of. Madam Speaker, there is this recommendation number 1. And that is why I didn't append my signature in the adoption schedule, because I thought this adoption number 1 is overtaken by recommendations 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Because when you say that the county executive conducts public participation in compliance with Article 10 of the Constitution and Section 87 of the County Governments Act 2012 before execution of the lease. Madam Speaker, it kind of contradicts number 1, because it is like we are giving the executive as a fresh assignment. They do it, then they report back to the committee their progress on public participation, despite the fact that recommendation number 1 says that this Honorable House approves the proposed allocation of the parcel Kisumu / Municipality Block 11/43 to the EACC for establishment of a regional office. That number 1 alone kind of summarizes the findings and recommendations of the committee, that the committee is satisfied with everything and therefore the land should be surrendered, and the House is convinced by the tune of the mover of the motion that we have agreed, and the House should support us in agreeing to allocate the said parcel or number to the Commission. Mr. Speaker, in my opinion, which I was defeated by the majority, it's normally said that the majority have their say while the minority have their way. So I have my way by still standing with my position that this recommendation number 1 should not have been there if indeed we wanted the executive to do further interrogations. We should have just said it is a progress report where there are certain areas, gray areas, that the executive need to address, like that item 2 of the recommendation. And then item 3, that the formal change of user from residential to institutional use be secured under the Physical and Land Use Planning Act. I think this should come first before we recommend to give them the said parcel. 4, that comprehensive legal search be conducted to confirm absence of incumbents, charges, and third-party interest on this title. Madam Speaker, if this is not done, then I think we should not request the House to approve the report, because we kind of will be approving the report when there's certain fundamental aspects to be considered in transfer of any parcel of land held in trust on behalf of the Kisumu County residents has not been done. So I'm still struggling to negate this recommendation number 1, Madam Speaker, going by what we agreed on in the subsequent recommendations. Now, number 5, Madam Speaker, that a binding sublease agreement be formulated. Madam Speaker, sublease agreement is to be formulated much later when all this number 2, number 3 have been taken care of. So I think this should come much later, when everything else is done. But if we leave this report with recommendation number 1, then it means entirely the remaining recommendations are null and void. And the outstanding recommendation is that the House will approve the allocation of this parcel of land to EACC without all these fundamental aspects of lease or transfer of parcel is considered. Finally, Madam Speaker, the county executive reports back to this House on fulfillment of the above conditions prior to finalization of the transaction. We've given the county executive member to go ahead and give EACC the land. We are again telling him to report back, reporting back based on what? Because we've given the land. So in my view, Madam Speaker, if room could be given, then I think we will have either said that we go by recommendation number 2 to 6 and do away with 1, or in entirety we leave it as it is and approve it by saying that even though there are gaps, but us as an assembly, we are willing, we are generous, we are willing just to give them and do whatever they want. So in my opinion, Madam Speaker, just because of that, I still stand by my opinion earlier that I oppose the adoption of this report because we'll be doing something that we don't understand and something which is entirely very illegal. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Waridu.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Let me also air my voice on the subject matter. And before that, let me congratulate, appreciate the 4 active members in the group that were heavily involved in the preparation of this report. And from the Vice Chair, that the report is long overdue. And if you look at the recommendations that have been put, actually what Honorable Chele has been erring on is that with all the recommendations from number 2 up to the last one, they are contradicting the first recommendation. Public participation was not done and it's yet to be done. Change of user yet to be done. And the Vice Chair said that this report, the matter is long overdue. So you wonder what all the stakeholders were engaging in if all these legal requirements were not addressed. And the committee is requesting the House to adopt the report first before all these legal requirements have been adhered to. And from the tradition of this House, once the report is adopted, then you'll wait up to the 4th term when all those legal and legal requirements will be brought to this House. How I wish, and I will urge to request the chair and the 4 active committee members to at least hold their horses so that the due actions should be taken before the report is adopted by the House. Madam Speaker, the county government of Kisumu should be concentrating on ways in which we can at least raise our revenues so that our programs can go as planned. And one of the reasons which was given why we are giving the land to the EACC is that they have been partnering with us in so many ways. I really doubt if that is allowed in our constitution, that if you partner well with an institution, then you are expected to reward that institution with a piece of land. I'll also go with the same observation that if we can at least give time and make sure that all these legal requirements are adhered to, that is when we can adopt the said report, then I will support it. But as at now, let me go the different way. I will oppose the report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Benio Kopete.
Madam Speaker, I'm handicapped to contribute effectively in this House because I'm hearing that there are no papers and I no longer get that copy. It has really become very tedious for me to contribute. I wish the office of the clerk should be asked to provide materials so that the work moves moves on smoothly in this assembly. Members could have seen the way Honorable Basmati was contributing very smoothly when he was referring to the hard copies. The work becomes very easy. Madam Speaker, this is a matter that should be addressed in this.
Kindly, Honorable Rakwach and Honorable Okoyo, consult in low tones.
Madam Speaker, let that my displeasure be recorded. Madam Speaker, I wanted to contribute on this matter, and I wanted us to pass this in a record time. But there are pertinent issues that have been raised and which appear on the report. But my plea is, the way the report is tabulated, I will assume that a good technical advice was not given to the committee. Because if the cabinet had approved, the matter is brought to the assembly is also asked to approve. That means the due diligence ought to have been done. And what are those due diligence? The public participation ought to have been done. We are now being told that the executive should conduct public participation. That cannot be later. The matter comes to the assembly to give the final approval. Let me give you an example. In 2021, I had the same problem in my ward. Land registered in the name of county council then was to be transferred to the Ministry of Education. We had to do the due diligence, bring the matter to this assembly for approval. Then what remained was the National Land Commission to transfer the land to the Ministry of Education. When the matter comes to this assembly, the implication is all due diligence has been done. And once we give our approval, we are not asking again that the matter should be brought to us for further discussion. Madam Speaker, these are matters that we need to learn as we move on. But if I digress a little, Madam Speaker, there's a disease we have in this assembly. The young clerks who are employed, when they are asked to consult the senior clerks, they drag their feet. And I wish when a matter like this comes for discussion, the clerk in that committee should be seated in this assembly to hear our comments. Because we shall become a laughing stock when we pass such an important matter, and then later on, holes will be poked into it, Madam Speaker. So the table clerk should take this report back to the office of the clerk, that the committee clerks should consult with the senior clerks, so that when the report comes here, it's watertight. But with that said, Madam Speaker, I want to say the matter of public participation has come. Change of user, that one should also have been done through public participation. Transfer of land, that one will be done once we have given our approval. And that the sublease will also come automatically. So what I'm asking, Madam Speaker, despite those weaknesses, let the assembly give the approval and let us learn from our mistakes. So some of these are just mere clerical mistakes. And it is important, Madam Speaker, when the Ethics Anti-Corruption will have their regional office in Kisumu, that will give Kisumu County a nice face. And we hope they will also consider our locals to get employment. And this being a big government institution, when Kisumu County subleases land to them, there is no harm in that, Madam Speaker. So the pitfalls that have been identified, If we could close our eyes, we give our approval, and we learn as we move, so that the government of Professor Nyong'o is seen to be a serious government that when the national government knocks for assistance and they want to develop in Kisumu country, we extend our big hand to them. And let us not be scared that when this land is given to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission, then there will be a compromising situation. Let us not imagine that. They will do their work professionally. The county government, the assembly will also do their work professionally, but their offices have been brought closer to us. So, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Oiko, you have 30 seconds more.
Yes, Madam Speaker, I'm just finishing. Madam Speaker, I will plead with the Assembly that we give approval to this matter despite the pitfalls we are highlighted, and those ones be our lesson as we move ahead. I so contribute, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable James Omolo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, first of all, I want to thank the committee of planning for bringing this forth so that we can debate on it. Madam Speaker, in this country, under the Constitution 2010, we have 48 governments. And those are public entities. We have 47 counties and one national government called Kenya. Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission is a government body belonging to the national government of Kenya. Hence, it is a public entity. Madam Speaker, what we would have been worried about would be if we are listening to an entity which is not public. We have all our ECD centers based in primary schools. Those are not county government lands. They are national government lands. The public schools we have our ECDs in have titles, and those are not our lands as county government of Kisumu. And there is intergovernmental cooperation. Since the devolution started in 2013, there has been a very good way of dealing with things like this.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to interject my colleague, Honorable James Omolo, who is the chair of implementation, who also, I believe, understands a lot of things more than most of us. And the direction he's taking, I think, is not being honest to this house. Madam Speaker, primary schools houses our ECDs, and no single time did the county government request the national government for transfer of the parcel. Underline the word transfer. We've never requested for transfer of land. And for time immemorial, ECDs have ever existed, coexisted with primary schools. And all of them, even if the ECDs devolve, they are under Ministry of Education. But the underlying fact is, we've never requested for transfer of any section of primary land for the ECD. It is different from this one. The national government is seeking a parcel of land from Kisumu County to be transferred to their name. Second to that, Madam Chair, EACC is not a national government. Neither is it a county government. It is a standalone institution which can be sued and can sue. So when they are seeking for land from Kisumu government, they are not coming as an agent of national government or county government. They are coming individually as an entity. So forget about national government and county government, and they serve us in equal measures. What they do to county government is what they do to the national government. So forget about that intergovernmental relationship. Mr. Chair, I believe my brother is properly informed, and use that knowledge you always have to inform yourself further. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'm informed. Madam Speaker, there will come a time when we will seek transfer from the primary schools. There is a time when we'll have entities called ECD centers on their own in terms of having lands wherever they are. And that one is coming so soon, not even later. Madam Speaker, what I was building on is that there should be cooperation in all national entities we have in this county and all national agencies that are based in Kisumu County, because these are our brothers and sisters in terms of services they deliver to the same public we serve as Kisumu County government. So there should be an issue and any worry in terms of transfer. The only thing which is clearer is that the transfer, the instruments and the process ought to have been done in a duly manner. That one is coming out, and I think the chair planning is noting, which can be done, and then the process is allowed to go and carry on, so that the land which is idling there can be put into use by another government agency, which is so correct, because the government agencies in this county will just serve the Kisumu County members and beyond. Those counties bordering us, like Kakamega, Busia, and whichever, Siaya, Omabay, they are to seek services from here in Kisumu, this being a regional hub. So I don't see anything wrong with that. Hence, I support this report. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, honorable members, I have a request. Kindly don't switch your mic on before I give you permission, because if you do so, I'm not able to use mine. So you wait for my permission, then you switch on your mic. Proceed, Honorable Kenedoko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, let me first congratulate the committee for the kind of work they have done. So far, it is not very easy to come up with a report, especially in the assembly. Madam Speaker, I'm so much concerned about some other things. This is a house of order, rules, regulations, and law. This is the final authority towards any kind of process being done by the county government. It is very orderly for the agency Anti-Corruption Commission to ask for a piece of land from the county government. But before this is done, Madam Speaker, there's what we call a due diligence. Later on, Madam Speaker, we know what has been happening in Kisumu. We know what happened when we were preparing the service board. Some people went to the court because of ABCD. Madam Speaker, you have attested to this. We have lost a lot of cases because of failing to follow the due diligence. You know, when we are debating in the house here, everybody is watching. It is in the YouTube all over the world. And if you want to make the laws, if you want to make a process to comply with the requirement of the Constitution, because this is where the legislative arm of the county government, we should do what is expected of us. Madam Speaker, from this report, there was a meeting between the Department of Land and the committee. And there was observation on due diligence. And it says, on the matter of due diligence, the chief officer indicated that the process had not yet been undertaken in full. Why a hurry we have an agreement that the county government should give to the request of the Anti-Corruption Commission. But before we do that, kindly, I would request our members that we do the due diligence so that we don't get into a position where we are in a quagmire situation because we are bending the law to please somebody. Let's continue the processes which are required. Now, when the committee brings the report back to the House, will be done and will not be accused as members of the County Assembly. I beg to disagree. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker.
Point of information, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Nyaoke.
Madam Speaker, it is important that as we go through this debate, I felt it is important to note one thing. In as much as fellow members are talking about the due diligence, which is also included in this recommendation.
Honorable Nyaoke, who are you informing?
The House. And this is very important to inform the House because it is going to help some members to decide further. Madam Speaker, the most important prayer in this report is one that is saying that the sublist be approved to authorize the Department of Lands, Physical Planning, Housing and Urban Development to proceed with the transactions in the said property with expediency. Then there is a riding statement saying to fulfill the next phase of the transaction in order to. Madam Speaker, these in order to points. It is not that they were not covered initially during our investigations into this matter, Madam Speaker. And all our deliberations indicated that even the due diligence, and that is why the report is saying that the land is in fact free of all encumbrances. This can only come after all due diligence has been done, Madam Speaker. So, Madam Speaker, as fellow members are heading to make their final conclusion, they should be aware that in fact due diligence was properly done and that no encumbrances are attached to this particular land, Madam Speaker. There is also one issue there that to initiate a secure formal change of user approval from residential to commercial institutional use for the subject property. Madam Speaker, that can only come. Hold on, hold your horses.
Honorable Odari, what's the problem?
I'm still on a point of order, Madam Speaker.
Madam Speaker, you know, I think Reverend Nyaoke is somebody who has gone to school. So he is not supposed.
Are you on a point of order?
I want to inform Nyaoke that he is lying to us in this Honorable Nyaoke.
It is not allowed, Honorable Odari. Allow him to finish first.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Chair, I think Honorable Adonija has used a very unparliamentary word. Honorable member cannot lie. I think that is a little bit unparliamentary.
Kindly, Honorable Odari, use proper language in this house.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and thank you, Honorable Ochele, for correcting me. I withdraw and I apologize.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, what I was finalizing to say is the one first statement saying initiate and secure formal change of use approval from residential to commercial use for the subject property. Madam Speaker, that particular point is very vital as it is because you can't change user before we give. I'm informing the House. That is why I'm standing. I'm informing the House. And that point is very important.
Honorable Warindo, allow him to finish. Yeah, not allowed.
So, Madam Speaker was saying, although they kept on interrupting, Madam Speaker, because we have requested for the approval of this, that is why that number 1 is vital. Now they can now proceed with the change of user. You cannot start a change of user before we authorize the transaction to be done, Madam Speaker. So those who are saying that the first point has been overwritten by something else, Madam Speaker, it should be clear that that first point stresses the fact that now that we are requesting for the approval of this land, we are giving now them the authority to start or to commence the change of use. You cannot change user before you are allowed to transact on a particular land. Thank you, Madam Speaker, for that time.
Honorable Warido, do you want to inform the House?
I just wanted to know whether Honorable Nyaoke is debating again. And I really wanted to know the work of the mover when it will be given time to reply, because that it seems that what Nyaoke was doing was replying to us.
No, he was informing the House, which is allowed. Yes, Honorable Dede.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for the opportunity. First of all, I'd like to congratulate the committee for having worked tirelessly, even though some are dormant members and some are active members, as has been stated by the chair. Madam Speaker, according to the Land Act number 6 of 2012, it stipulates clearly that all due diligence should be followed before any transaction has been done. And as we go through the report, if we go to on page 18 of the report, when the committee was engaged by the department, we found that the 3 steps which they followed. One was the evaluation. It states that the evaluation was done by the county government officer. And as per the Valuation Act, Cap 532 of the Constitution, Madam Speaker, there should have been a clarification on who did the valuation of the piece of land, which they stated 80 million, but there's no clarity on who did the valuation. Madam Speaker, concerning the due diligence which was to be followed, which was not undertaken clearly, Madam Speaker, states that if the due diligence is not followed, you would ought to be given time to work on the report and bring it later. And finally, Madam Speaker, according to the reaction of the Chief Officer of the Department of Lands, when they met with the committee, they really told us that there was no proper public participation, was not conducted totally. And according to the Kenyan law, there should be public participation. The input of the people should have been taken, so that as we are doing the due diligence, there would have been the issue of public participation conducted and points taken from all the stakeholders, so that we come out clearly on whatever was taking place. Being that the public input was not undertaken, Madam Speaker, it means no due diligence was followed for the sublease of the land, Madam Speaker. With the few remarks, I stand to oppose the report, Madam Speaker. Thank you.
Madam,
Yes, Honorable Hodari.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I just want to add my voice on this. A lot has been said by my colleagues, but from the recommendations, the committee recommendations, I want to go with the number 6, which says that the memo that the public participation was not carried out when this land was being leased or bought through, when the ECC was buying this land. Madam Speaker, last time or last month, we saw what the Department of Lands brought to us for discussion in this House concerning amenities. Today again, they have come with the incomplete document, and they are telling us to adopt it or to approve it. Madam Speaker, I would like to urge the mover of this motion to withdraw it, because we don't want our decision to be rescinded again, like the other time, what we saw in this assembly, after we have made, or honorable members made their decisions. So, that is my request, Madam Speaker. Let the mover, whoever moved this motion, withdraw this motion, so that they go and sit down as a committee and they do some technical works on it, then they bring it back for us for discussion. And another thing, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Hodari, I hope you know the procedure of this House. Members have debated, so it is not possible for the mover to withdraw at this juncture.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, from this
Point
report...
of order, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Okoyo.
Madam Speaker, I thought Honorable Dari was through with his statement, but...
Honorable Hodari, are you through? Conclude. Resume your seat, Honorable Okoyo.
Madam Speaker, when Honorable Boyton started talking, or you heard him telling us that this committee has four active members. And those members, they are learned. But I've realized that they have not gone through this document before they present it to us here for discussion. So next time, don't be given a document by the clerk, and then you come and read it for us, including, at the same time, you are giving us the committee observation and recommendations. So, thank you. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Okoyo.
Madam Speaker, I'm standing on a point of order, understanding number 50A. Madam Speaker, I want to propose some amendment. I want to propose amendment on recommendation, the recommendations which were read before this House, Madam Speaker, if you allow me.
Yes, proceed.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm proposing to amend the recommendation number 1, which initially read that this Honorable House approves. So I'm proposing an amendment for that to read that this Honorable House defers approval of the proposed allocation of the parcel Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43 to the EACC for the establishment of the regional office, Madam Speaker, if you allow me. Thank you. And Madam Speaker, allow me to ask the Deputy Whip to second. Thank you.
Yes, Deputy Whip, Honorable Jennifer.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I second the amendments.
Honorable members, now that Honorable Okoyo has moved that we need to do amendments instead of approving the leased land. Instead, we should use the word differ. And honorable members are now wanted for this report as preferred or proposed by the Lokoyo be open for debate. You debate it with amendment. Yes, Honorable Ochele.
I beseech the chair to allow me to debate just the amendment because I debated.
So, honorable members, you need to be keen. Now at this juncture, we are only debating on the amendment only. Is when we'll conclude. Proceed, Honorable Ochele.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me to appreciate the wisdom of a senior citizen, Honorable member for Kisumu Central, to have come up with the wise proposal to salvage our integrity and to put the county assembly in the map of wise men and women. Madam Speaker, by that proposed amendment, then it will give room for the executive to undertake all that they did not do within the prescribed time, and then send their reports, one on the public participation, all the due diligence on the transfer of land as recommended in the Lands Act and as recommended in the recommendation 3. And therefore, Madam Speaker, when they do that, then I think this House will be in the standing of now debating the entire motion based on the findings from the public participation and also from the recommended statutes governing land transfers, Madam Speaker. Therefore, Madam Speaker, I'm requesting the Honorable House to approve the proposed amendment to salvage the report and also to salvage our integrity as an House. Then the Chair will move with this committee with speed to ensure that all that which was not done, the Executive does them and reports within a time that will be dictated by the Chair. Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Oko.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, everything must have a solution towards anything which comes to the House, and more so on this very important reports. Madam Speaker, by amending the first recommendation, it is giving a leeway for the public which is affected directly by this exercise to take part in the process. Madam Speaker, there are a lot of things concerning public participation. Inclusivity. Everybody is going to be included in this. It is not only the members of the county assembly or the executive or the anti-corruption. Madam Speaker, there is also what we call transparency. In anything involving public, it has to be very transparent, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, we also have what is called accountability, which is it's our role. we have to go for that accountability from the executive. They have to do what is expected. Madam Speaker, it is also important that we are going to empower our people to know that whatever we are doing belongs to them. We are only representative of the people. So I also would like to say that we approve the report with that kind of amendment. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Honorable Waridu.
Thank you once again, Madam Speaker. And may I also thank one of the active members of the Planning Committee, Ms. Honorable Okoyo. Madam Speaker, I'm also in support of the amendment to defer the approval of the proposed allocation of a parcel, Kisumu Municipality Block, to the ESCC. But it should be on a condition that these other resolutions are met. And I want to believe that the reason why we are amending this and why we are now debating on this is to have these other resolutions that were raising an eyebrow, that were preventing this report to be approved, to be adhered to. And how I wish that we had a timeline, but we can also not set a timeline, a target for this other recommendations, because it depends with what the executive will do with the information. I'm also glad to have this, since it's a very important motion. If this one is amended and it's adopted the way the amendment is, then at least a step, we shall have made a big step as the House. And this should also send a warning to our Secretariat that when we are coming up with recommendations, we should not be putting recommendations that are conflicting to each other. And I want to believe that will be taken and adhered to. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also support the amendment.
Honorable members, I want now call Honorable Sako Koyo to reply as the mover for the amendment of the motion of the recommendation part 1.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, allow me also to appreciate members who have contributed to the amendment of the first recommendations. Madam Speaker, we really believe we need to give the public time to go through this report and participate fully by doing public participation and any other which might have been left behind. So, Madam Speaker, I believe by amending these recommendations, we will have a concrete and watertight report to bring to the House so that the House can adopt it. And I reply. Thank you.
Honorable members, a motion to amend the recommendations part 1 has been moved by Honorable Okoyo seconded by Honorable Whip, Honorable Jennifer, and deliberated upon. I now want to put a question, and I put that as many as the opinion that the amendment of this report be as been deliberated, has been presented and deliberated upon, say aye. As many as the contrary opinion say nay. And the ayes have it. So the recommendation of this report, part 1, that says that the sublease be deferred for approval has been passed today, Thursday, 21st August 2025 at 4:05 a.m. No, p.m. And it is now part of this report. As we proceed, if I'll be putting a question, the last question, have it in mind, this will be part of the report. We proceed, honorable members. Honorable Obaso, kindly approach the chair. Honorable Obaso, kindly approach the chair. Honorable members, the floor is still open for debate. Yes, Honorable Whip, Jennifer Bonyo.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Going by the mood of the House, may I call the mover to reply? Thank you.
Yes, Honorable Rati Boyton.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want first to thank honorable members for effectively and decisively debate on this matter. Madam Speaker, as it was mentioned by Honorable Moses Ochele, that there are some reports that may not need the time frame that is being given to them to work on. Like this report, we were only given 21 days. The communication from the committee to the department and to the relevant stakeholders took a long period of time. And remember, Madam Speaker, it reached a time where we invited the EACC, who were accompanied with their staff from Nairobi. So this back and forth really took time. And I believe that moving forward, such kind of reports that needs proper interrogation will be given enough time. Honorable Speaker, The recommendations that were given by the committee, that is recommendation number 2, recommendation number 3, recommendation number 4, 5, and 6, were given in good faith so that the executive will do the due diligence. Recommendation number 2, Madam Speaker, calls for public participation, which is enshrined in our Constitution. Recommendation number 3 talks about the formal change of user. Members, we know that this area or this plot was a residential plot. And before the transfer or the sublease is done, there must be a change of user from residential to institutional, according to the Physical and Land Use Planning Act of 2019. The same goes to the recommendation number 4, where a comprehensive legal search to be conducted to confirm if there is any encumbrances that may jeopardize the lease. Then, Madam Speaker, there should also be a binding sublease agreement formulated that will clearly outline the terms, obligation, duration, clauses in this agreement. At this juncture, Madam Speaker and honorable members, I now defer the approval of the proposed allocation of parcel Kisumu Municipality Block 11/45 to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission to establish their regional office, and until these recommendations are met by the county government of Kisumu. Thank you, Madam Speaker. I reply.
Honorable members, now that a motion on adoption of the report of lands, housing, physical planning, and urban development committee on the proposed sublease of land, Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43, to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has been presented, seconded, and debated. I want to put a question, and I put that as many as of the opinion that the motion on adoption of the report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning, and Urban Development Committee on the proposed sublease of land, that is Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43, to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission as presented and deliberated upon, be adopted, say aye. As many as the contrary opinion say nay. Nay. The ayes have it, and the motion on adoption of the report of Lands, Housing, Physical Planning, and Urban Development Committee on the proposed sublease of land, that's Kisumu Municipality Block 11/43, to the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission has been adopted today, Thursday, 21st August 2025 at 4:14 p.m. I want to direct that the recommendations of this report and that of the House debates be, with amendments, be forwarded to the relevant department for action. And I also want to advise the implementation committee to do a follow-up of the same for implementation. Thank you. Next order.
Thank you, Madam Speaker and honorable members. There's no any other business to be transacted in the order paper.
Honorable members, let us be upstanding. Honorable members, there is no any other business before this honorable house. Therefore, the house stand adjourned till Tuesday, 26 August 2025 at 2:30 p.m.